Hello, welcome to another strategy simulation on the roulette wheel. So my last video didn't really go to plan because it was supposed to be, it was supposed to show losses really, and why you shouldn't chase losses, but we didn't have any. I think it made like if you was playing with say $10 as one unit, it made about $330 in 10 minutes. Uh, so I'm going to use today. I'm going to use a basic straight up black or red, not quite 50-50 strategy because they've got a zero, so it gives the house an edge. So it's like about 40%, 47% in it for black or red. We're going to use straight up, so it's much higher risk. It's got a lower win rate, and hopefully it'll get us plenty of losses. So I can demonstrate how chasing losses is a bad idea. So we're gonna get into the wheel.
Welcome to the table. Place your bets, please.
Place your bets, please. Yes, we will. Right, so we'll just use one chip, one unit. Keeps it simple, and it stops me running out of chips. I like to see these chips going up. Makes me feel rich. Anyway, so we'll start with a blank spin, so we get a new number.
No more bets.
See what comes up. Right, so we've got red. Right, so we're only going to be using black or red in this. I'm going to set my timer, 10 minutes, and we'll see what happens after 10 minutes. Each time we lose, we're going to go into a recovery, and then see what happens with the recovery because it's got a stop loss as well. If we hit the stop loss, we'll reset the timer because, you know, in the real world, if I were to hit a stop loss, I'd walk away. That's what it's for. But because we're in a simulator, we can chase those losses all we want, and as long as I don't run out of chips here, and we'll see what happens. And we'll reset the timer if we do it at stop loss because it gives us that time to actually recover those losses then. Right, so we're away. Timer's off. Right, so because we got a red, what we're going to do is we're going to bet red again. So we just bet one unit on red.
No more
we'll spin
bets.
that, and then this can be quite entertaining sometimes, this strategy, because you won't believe how many consecutive outcomes you can get sometimes with black and red. So we've lost already, so now we're going to we'll switch to black because we've had a black, because we're basically betting on doubles. Right, so because we've lost already, we're one unit down, and we've switched from red to black, we're going to bet on black, but double the amount. We're doubling up, so that's our first double. We're betting on black because we're basically just betting on doubles.
No more bets.
We're betting that we're going to see two blacks in a row or two reds in a row. So we've seen two blacks in a row. We've had a win. We've recovered, and we're into one unit win. All right. So now we're going to actually wait, and we're going to spin without a
No
bet.
more bets.
Because the idea is we're just going to bet on these doubles, so we need to wait for a switch, and it avoids betting on these long streaks because sometimes you won't believe how many consecutive black and reds you can have. So I mean, like there's three there already, so we'll spin
No more bets.
spin without a bet. Another black.
No
So
more
we'll spin
bets.
again. We're not betting on that. Right, so now we've had a red. We're going to bet on the red. Just one unit.
No more bets.
Right, it's switched to black. Because with us betting on doubles, we're betting that we're going to get two consecutive outcomes. We'll put two on black there and spin
No
that.
more bets.
We're kind of saying that it's not going to keep switching from black to red each time. It's not going to go black, red, black, red, black, red. At least, you know, not too many times because we've got room for our loss. So that was a win because we bet on black. Back up to two on the session win there. But now we won't bet because we're going to wait for a switch again. And it avoids betting on these long streaks if you're getting 5, 10, 15 blacks or reds in a row. So there's another switch. So we got a red. So put one unit on red there.
No more bets.
Up 2 units so far. Another loss. So we'll put two on black because we've had a switch. So we're going to bet that it doesn't switch or bet for double black.
No more bets.
Quite different from my last video where I was using the Romanowski method, which that's got a win percentage of about 85%, I think. So we've got a loss there, $2, or 2 units rather. It's switched back to red, so now we'll put 4 on red.
No more bets.
See if it comes in. Ooh, another loss. Now we need to go 8 on black.
No more bets.
Oh, it's lost. Alright, good. This is kind of what I wanted to demonstrate. So this is our last spin now, because this is our stop loss. We've had 4 consecutive double ups. We're betting 16 units plus our original losses, so it takes us to quite a significant loss if this comes in now. So we'll spin that on red because we've had a red, so we're betting that it doesn't switch again.
No more bets.
And it came in. Fantastic. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see reset the timer and try and chase those losses, but at least, you know, it shows that recovery method with a stop loss, it still can work. It's got us back into a session winner 3. So now we'll go back to our original betting strategy, betting only black or red based on what comes out. Even though they're independent, it's just makes it that bit more exciting, and it avoids betting on those streaks as well. So we'll spin without
No
a
more
bet
bets.
just to get we'll get our switch. Only 5 minutes left on timer. Alright, so it's moved to black. So we'll bet 1 unit on black now.
No more bets.
Session winner 3. Another win. So we'll spin without a
No
bet.
more bets.
Another black. So, we won't bet with any chips. We'll
No
just
more
spin that
bets.
without for now, because like I said, we're waiting for a switch. Because we're only betting black and red in this strategy, we're just going to wait for it. And it avoids betting on these streaks as well. Like, there's been 4 black in a row there, which is unusual. So we'll spin
No
again
more
without a
bets.
bet. There we go. So we've had our switch now. We've got a red. So now we're going to bet on red again. 1
No
unit.
more bets.
That's another win. So we'll
No more
spin
bets.
without a bet just to get we're just avoiding betting on long streaks, really. Like that previous streak then was about 4 blacks, so we don't want to bet on them. Excuse me, just having a swig of my coffee. So we'll bet.
No more
No
bets.
bet, sorry, spin without a bet. See, 4 red in a row there. So
No more bets.
we don't want to be betting on these streaks. 5 red in a row.
No
Spin
more
again.
bets.
So this strategy is much slower in terms of you know, the units you're going to win, but it's just a little more conservative because you're avoiding betting on these streaks and you're not jumping in on every single bet, and you're only putting 1 unit on as your risk, and then your reward if you win is 1 unit, and then your stop loss, your bankroll on that I think is if we're using 1 unit, so it'd be 15 units, I think. I'll double check that, I think, in a minute. So that was a loss. We had a red come out, so we're going to go double up on red.
No more bets.
That's a loss. First of, we'll only go up to 4 for our stop loss. So we'll go 4 on black because we've switched to black, so we'll bet
No
on
more
black.
bets.
I mean, this side of the recovery is essentially betting that it's not going to keep switching from black to red, and you get 4 attempts at it before you hit your stop loss. If you set your stop loss at 4, but the loss increases exponentially as you go along. So if you set it at 5, it's double, 6 doubles again. You can just end up losing all your bankroll. So it's purely why I use it, is to avoid big losses. So session winner 6, only just over a minute on the timer. So we'll wait for a switch without a bet. So another black, so we'll spin
No more bets.
again. Just wait for a red. There we go, got our red, so we'll bet red. It's nice and easy, 1 unit on red.
No more bets.
Another win. So we'll spin without a bet now till we get a black. Nice and straightforward, this one. Oh, we need a black, so we'll spin again. There we go. So that gives us opportunity to bet now. So we'll put 1 on black.
No more bets.
And that's the 10-minute timer. So believe in that strategy there with a win. So let's have a look. So 8 units on that session win. So it didn't quite demonstrate what I wanted it to, really. At some point, one of these videos will get plenty of losses, and I'll be able to demonstrate like what not to do and why not to chase the losses and stuff. But fortunately, that simulation actually came out in a profit again, and that's with a 42% hit percent. So it's not it. It just shows it is about managing your losses and knowing when to stop and when to walk away, whether to take some profit or what do you want to do. Do you want to stand there just keep chucking money at it, or do you want to take some winnings? I'd walk away with that. This is why the timers are good as well, because you can it just gives you a boundary to sort of simulate it and see what the results are after a certain amount of time. Or you can not use a timer if you don't want and set an actual profit target in terms of units, like you might say 10 or 20, 30 units, depending on what you're risking. There's loads of different ways you can set up before you even spin the wheel. You can adapt as well during the play, because some people might decide to ride a winning streak by doubling up a certain amount of times, or you might not double up in your recovery. You might just go 1 step up at a time. There's loads of different methods you can use. I'll be showing them in future videos, so I'm sure some of them will come with significant losses that we can highlight, and hopefully there'll be some interesting wins as well, like this one. 8 units, 10 minutes, nice and easy. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm interested to know what strategies other people are using, particularly the recovery methods. They're the most important part of it for me. Is at what point do you draw the line and stop? So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've tried this purely black and red strategy, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.